Okay, so I moved the breeder shed. You can see it's now got tree branches laying on the top of it. And the tree over here is shading it on the west side. And the east side over there on the far side gets a little morning sunlight, but not much. And it is significantly cooler inside. So that's good because we're not getting any days under 80 for a while now. So yeah, I like to step in here now. It's cooler than the outside. Okay, so a little breeding update. Let's take a look here. This is Verde and Hedwig. Now I'm noticing something again that I noticed before. Apparently a female, if she lays some eggs but she's not feeling well, she will delay sitting on them. Hedwig laid her first egg, with which she got egg bound, on the 20th of May. I had to give her some, I had to basically knock her flat with some marijuana extract to get her to relax enough and rest enough to get her to pass it. And then when she passed it, she did not look good. So I put her briefly on antibiotics, but she made such a quick recovery, I was like, well, I'm probably doing too much, so I stopped it. She started laying eggs again, but then she started going downhill again. Now, one of the things that I do when a bird isn't feeling well is I'm tracking the drop-ins in the bottom of the cage. It's not pretty, but somebody has to do it. So, there's Hedwig's corner over there. And those are some nice big laying hen droppings with white in them and everything else. And you can see the nice white paper around it is got a little stain from fluids, but not much. So when things are not going well, what the bowel movements will look like is they'll have no shape. They'll be flat, soaking straight into the paper because they have no solidness about them. The white part will disappear and it will be all brown. It will smell funky. And there'll be a large stain around it where it's seeped because it's full of fluids, and that's diarrhea. So she started going there again, so I put her on erythromycin, and it took her 24 hours before she started having solid poops again. So I'm going to leave her on it for the full 7 days this time. I thought I was doing too much, and it turned out that I didn't do quite enough. So, but another piece to this puzzle is she has laid 4 eggs. She's been sitting in there with the eggs, but not sitting on the eggs. I'd open up that box and look at her, and she'd maybe have one of them under her, and the other 3 just kind of sitting around the box. She actually does not like the hole that I bored in the center of the bottom of the box, and she's sitting on the eggs over in the corner, away from that. It's crazy, but, you know, different strokes for different folks. So. But the most interesting thing is she started laying again on May 26th. I don't think she started sitting on these eggs until yesterday, which is June 4th. So a full 10 days. I'll know by when they start actually hatching, but I was looking in there and she was just sitting with the eggs, guarding them. And if you think about it, an egg is a tremendous biological investment for a female bird. She's dropping probably 1/10 to 1/15 of her body weight in an egg. It's pure proteins, fats, calcium, everything that a baby bird needs to form, and it's coming directly out of her own body tissues. So I'm kind of not surprised that they actually sit in there and guard them even when they're not sitting on them yet. But yeah, I've really learned, man, just because a hen's in a box doesn't mean she's actually incubating eggs yet. So, yeah, for the last few days I've been like, why are you only sitting on 1 egg or no egg or 2 eggs, and they're sprinkled around the box. Finally today I opened it up and she had all the eggs collected underneath her. Let's see what she's doing right now. Where are you? Yeah, see, there's the hole. She doesn't like it, but she does have all the eggs collected underneath her now. So I believe that today is the first day of incubation for these eggs. So I wrote it down. Today is June 5th. If today is the first day that she incubates those eggs, then that first baby isn't going to hatch until, sheesh, the 20th. If somehow she was incubating them when she laid them earlier than that, then they would hatch on the 13th, a full week earlier. So we'll see. Another case in point. Here's Sprite up here. Fluffy's first egg was due to hatch almost a week ago, June 1st. She still hasn't hatched any eggs yet, but she's been in that box the entire time. So she delayed sitting on the eggs as well, obviously. I interrupted her. She was laying eggs, and then I went back because several hens, including her, started acting like they had the Giardia still. So I went in and did a 7-day treatment. I have a feeling that she delayed sitting during the 7-day treatment because the meds made her feel bad. So she was sitting in the box, but she was not sitting on the eggs. So, again, that guarding behavior. Eggs are a huge investment for a female bird, so I can totally see why they would sit in there. And you're like, well, what could a bird, you know, a bird that literally weighs 2 ounces do to protect their eggs? Well, if you have to ask that question, you've never been bit by a parakeet before. Because when they're serious, when they really bite you, they got a hell of a bite. So she first of all, would keep all the insects away. And second of all, any smaller predator, she could definitely discourage. Especially if it had to come in that hole, you know, stick a head in there unprotected. She could bite it in the face and get rid of it pretty quick. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But obviously, I'm not going to get any babies right away on time or anything like that. And again, I think it's because of the Ranidizole that they delayed. Miss Kelly here was the next one due to hatch eggs, and if she had started sitting on time, they would start hatching in the next 3 or 4 days. I'm going to bet that it's not going to happen. But we'll see. So, update. So, she's finally sitting. That's Verde and Hedwig. There's Sparky. His girl's on 5 eggs now. She stopped at 5. She's been sitting for quite a while, so she may be the one that hatches eggs first. These two, her sear, this is Frost and Cinnamon. Her sear turns brown. She goes in and out of the box, but, you know, there's no urgency happening here, that's for sure. There's Aqua, Rainbow. I slid an extra egg in on Rainbow early on when she just started laying. Unfortunately, she has now laid 6 eggs, and she has the extra one I stuck in there, so she's sitting on 7 eggs. If all of those eggs start looking like they're going to hatch, I may have to foster out a couple of those of her last babies, because 7 babies would be an awful lot to raise. There's Fancy sleeping on the bottom of the cage. And Blue. Nothing is happening there, and this is the last time I try. So I'm going to give them another week or so, and then I'm going to separate them. They're bonded. They've been together for literally years, but they're just not ever going to mate. If Fancy's not ever going to mate, I need to take Blue and get him a female that will actually mate with him, because I want his genes, and my whole point here is to bring in genes from a whole bunch of different birds. And Blue is not related to any other bird that I got. I didn't get him from the same place where I got any other bird, so he's got totally unique genes, and I want them. So if they don't breed this time, in the next week or so, I'm going to separate them, and I'll put Blue in with a different female in September with the last set of breeding pairs. Again, there's Sprite. Who knows? Something's going to hatch soon. She's on 6 eggs. We'll see. And these two are clearly bonded. They spend all day doing loving. She's in and out of that box. But they get 1 more week, and then I'm going to pull them and try again in September. I'll keep these two together as a pair because they're clearly bonded. I've seen them mate. I think maybe I just threw them off because I treated them with Ranidizole and made them both sick right when they were getting serious. So, Miss Sky here is spending some time in that box, and her man, Jester, is starting to get frisky. There's Bubba up there, singing away. This is my territory. This is my female. He actually goes in the box with her She's in there right now. I don't think she's really ready to lay yet. Where's the opening box? There it is. I don't think she's really ready to lay yet, but the interesting thing is Bubba is one of these males that spends a lot of time inside the box with her, and I believe they probably mate while they're in there. And these two, her cere is getting crustier and crustier and browner, and she's spending more and more time in the box. But they're a little slow. And the cockatiels are still threatening to kill me every time I look in the box, but I don't think they have any babies, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's the update.